phone or you could get on your desktop and basically make your own advertisement for a company that you like. Then you can share it across multiple platforms, and then you will earn royalty for how much it's shared or any conversions that it has. The target audience is ages 14 to 45, and that's basically anybody in the realm that uses their mobile phone or social media a lot. I actually have an example of somebody that this would apply to that I'll share with you shortly. And then the other target audience of this is actual companies that will utilize it, that will either say, yes, we want to opt into this, or companies that will even go on it and make their own advertisements themselves, because why not? It's super easy to make, and I'll explain why even further down. So here's just a description of the application. And once you've gone in and made your advertisement, the formats will come out as an HTML5 or JPEG, PNG, and it could even be an MP4 because it could be a video if you choose to make one. And again, the idea behind this is that you have a set of code that you can go embed anywhere. And most likely you'll utilize this in like Facebook ads, Google AdWords, YouTube banners, etc. That's the kind of platform that this is meant to be shared on. Again, the user will feel like they're part of something bigger, such as they're getting to share their voice. And in the back of my mind, an asterisk to all of this is I keep thinking about everything that's going on with ads and things like that. This gives the person a chance, the user a chance to say, these are the ads that I'm going to share. Oh, and by the way, I get to make a little bit of money off of it on the side. Again, the design mode would be very simple, and I'll show some of the ideas for that. Now, when I got into the competitive analysis on this, I almost stopped my idea completely. Let me share. It's not Snap Studio. Snap Studio is an application that allows people to make video advertisements. They are really crappy. I looked through all the examples. They are not good. But hey, it's there. It's something out there. This is what almost shut the whole thing down. Banner Snack. I'm actually really glad to have found this because I will most likely use this in my job in the future. That right there is exactly what I'm talking about. This area right here is the design template. That is dead on. It is super easy to use. It is made for producing exactly the kind of things that I want to produce. HTML5, Facebook ads, Google AdWords, the whole thing, and it's already templated in there. As you can see, the download formats are right there. And on top of it, it has all kinds of cool gadgets built into it to tell you how well your banners are doing and things like that. This differs, though, from you plug it because this doesn't give the user the ability to make their own advertisements and then get paid for it. So that's why I say this almost shut my entire idea down. What I would like to do is go to these people, bring my idea to them, and have them utilize it because this software is good stuff. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. And then the last one was an actual mobile app, which is a poster maker, flyer maker. And again, this still isn't the exact same thing as what I'm trying to do. This is just an easy way, an easy application that people can get onto and make flyers. As you can see, one of these is it looks like a wedding or something like that. But you could in essence, you could make these into advertisements. And the last piece that I have done so far is an actual flow chart. As you can see, you start at home. You would move into, you'd have a profile because you'd have to have some way to get your earnings. And then you could go into like explore, kind of like blogs and things like that. And you could see other examples. You could find the affiliates of who is working with the app. Then you could go into lessons if you would need them, because there will be some short lessons. And then you would go over to create. You could do your own advertisement for whatever you believe in. You could do an affiliates to try and make money off of theirs. There will be templates, and then there will be ones that you can just start from scratch. And then again, the whole goal of this whole thing is to share your product on as many platforms as possible. That is all I have.
Cool. Anybody have anything to say here? And you know what? We'll just don't worry about your microphone settings. If you're in the room here, I think we'll be able to catch your sound through my computer. So you don't have to keep turning on and off your microphone.
I like the idea of you introducing it to the other company that almost shut you down. I think that's a really good idea.
It definitely has a lot of potential. I mean, I can't wait to see how this actually turns out, because it looks like it would be incredibly helpful for people that want to do this kind of thing.
Cool. Yeah, I compared it to, I didn't put it in there yet, but my wife is on Ibotta. I think I told you guys about Ibotta. I have no idea why it works, but she gets home and she has a receipt. And if there's certain items on that receipt, she plugs them into her mobile device. And if it's on whatever the special of the week, like I think some whiskey I bought a couple weeks ago is on there, so she was super happy. And she gets anywhere from 25 cents to like $3. So we're talking pennies on the dime, but it adds up. Next thing you know, she's got 25 bucks, you know, in like 2 weeks. So that's the kind of idea. What I mean, that's the kind of thoughts I have for royalties.
Fair enough. And definitely sounds like it would be a great way for people to make more money.
I think it's an interesting idea. I don't know how much you actually really need to focus on the design aspect of creating the ads. Like the competing sites that you were focused on, or the competing apps really had an orientation of, let me give you some design tools to make an ad for your own purposes. This, it seems like you're looking for ads to put into your social media feed and your website and whatever, and then share them. I don't know how much design like capabilities you really need to give people.
Yeah, that's why I like Banner Snack. I'd like to just like go to them or something. Oh, and the other thing that Banner Snack does that I don't know that I could compete with is that they give you a rating on how good your advertisement is. They will show you, they will say, hey, you probably shouldn't have put something in that corner. You should have done all these things. And then it'll tell you how much you're actually getting off of it. It's pretty insane.
Wow, that's cool.
Some good analytics.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Write Banner Snack down for all you designers, because I'm pretty blown away by it. So
that's cool. Well, now the next step is thinking about, like, I think you need to decide in your head how much design capability you're going to give the user.
Sure.
Because you can go down this path and you're ending up, I don't know, I think you might be thinking too broad, and you're going to, if you're going to try to give the user all of these design capabilities that some of these other apps have, then I think you're kind of losing what the original purpose was. You know what I mean? I mean, like, let's say I'm a huge fan of a certain whiskey brand, and I want to put that all over my site. Well, I probably, you know, there are probably like 8 or 10 elements I can move and design in different ways. And maybe there's some basic configurations changes that I can do, but I don't know if you need to give the user the whole menu of design options. You know what I mean?
Sure. So more template based, you mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or you could offer them a choice of 4 or 5.
Yeah.
That have been approved by the,
the big thing, like, I didn't read it. I guess it was farther down, but actually, I'll bring it up. You don't need to read it off of here, but I'll explain somebody a scenario. Samantha is a 20-year-old stay-at-home mom of 2. She utilizes the app while the kids are napping in the afternoon to make advertisements based off of companies she likes. If she suddenly has a crazy craving for Reese's Peanut Pieces, she will make a witty saying and make an advertisement she deems worthy of her Facebook page. She creates the advertisement using the app and then shares it on her page, not only in the newsfeed, but it'll be placed in Facebook ads specifically to her friends and people who are viewing her profile. She can track the analytics to see how she did, and based upon the amount of views, shares, likes, conversions, she will receive a monthly compensation.
I think I know what he's talking about. It's like the idea of engagement that wouldn't otherwise be there.
Right.
So ownership, the person owns it and then wants to share it because they're proud of it. And then because they have an X number of friends, then all those people see it.
And they're not going to own it unless they have some creative control in the situation.
That's what I think.
What I see is taking away a little bit of of actually creative agencies work. So like in 2013 at the Super Bowl, when the power went out in the Super Bowl, and Oreo put that meme on there on Twitter that says you can still dunk in the dark. It was a spectacular. They won the Super Bowl with that advertisement. I want users to have the ability to do that and then get paid for it.
The one thing I wonder about is, are their friends going to feel spammed? That's really a concern.
I think it's a concern for your and my generation. But when I sit in rooms and people go, yeah, we don't care that Facebook's tracking us, I don't think anybody cares.
I think certain people wouldn't care, but what if this may solve your problem? Like you give the user a little bit more creative control in the advertisement creation, but then the company or the monitor has to approve it or something. And so then there's a pride factor there. Like
right.
If you've been selected, you know, and then you might be, maybe it's a contest each day, the best 5 ads, and those can get shared. And so if you won, then you would feel compelled to share it, right? You know?
Yeah, this has to go through a filter somehow.
Yes.
Like, I just don't know how that, I would assume that each company that opts in will have some kind of filter.
Right.
Yeah, there would definitely need to be some sort of quality assurance and a filter. Otherwise, you would just end up with a complete deluge, however you pronounce it.
Okay, let me, we got to keep moving. Does anybody really want to go next, or should I just go down the line? Okay, Pamela, let's jump over here. The green button over on the side. There you go. Yeah, or entire screen, yeah. Oh, I want some more coffee.
Coffee drinkers confuse me, but whatever.
Can I receive?
Yeah.
So the name of my exhibit this is a project 2, is Murmuration of Sound. And the synopsis is, it's an interactive educational exhibit using digital murmurations to explain the reality of sound. The objective is that the Murmuration of Sound is an educational interactive exhibit in which children ages 6 to 12 learn the seeds of physics through sound, frequency, and vibration. Children see a screen that expands an entire wall and ceiling. Those screens will represent digital murmurations of their pulse, voice, and movements. The child can have a digital image of their name, email, telephone. It's for children ages 6 to 12 and their parents and teachers who wish to educate children in beginning physics, sound, frequency, and vibration. Here's the Nikola Tesla's quote. And here are some examples of the, this will be the beginning of the exhibit that explains in a simplistic way sound waves, that they're an actual thing, how they contribute to sound and vibration, and then it is demonstrated in part with this frequency plate created by Tesla, and each frequency creates a different pattern. So it's the beginning understanding that there's movement going on that we can't see, a lot like the wind.
Do you have a control there to be able to change the frequency?
So I want everything to be digital.
Right.
And so, yeah, there'll be like a button that will then, it's going to be all digital. It's all going to be a video. So if someone pushes a button,
right,
you'll see the image come up or the video come up of that particular frequency. And then it'll also have the sound. That's the first part of the exhibit. Then you can barely see the little boy, but there's a little boy here in the lower left corner. And so the second step of the exhibit will be this visual sound murmuration. Child will place her hand on the screen that covers the wall and ceiling. Her pulse will be recorded and then be represented in pulses of light that will float across the wall and ceiling in a pattern, that of starling or fish murmurations. And you've probably all seen those, at least in some sort of video or movie or the like. And it's it'll be quite an experience because it's the whole wall and then across the ceiling. And then the third step allows the child to see his name and foot movements. The speaker's name into a microphone, and then a sound wave representing the child's name views on the wall. The child can also dance on the sensor plate on the floor. At this time, the child can select to have a digital photo taken with his name and dance sound wave sent via email. And that's what I have so far.
Cool. Anybody have any comments? I think the way that you're presenting this is really beautiful, and like it's just a really, really nice presentation. I think that the first example, it's a little confusing because I don't understand how it's interactive.
Well, it is only interactive because child can choose which image or sound they're looking at. I think the important thing is that part of it's going to, I mean, not all of this will be interactive. Some of it's I'm teaching you what sound is and vibration and energy.
Well, go back to the first screen. No, that one right there.
Right.
So is it going to be 6 different devices, or are you showing 6 different, frequencies?
So it'll be it'll be again, a digital the actual thing won't be there because it's salt on top of there or sand. And that's just going to be way too messy to deal with. So someone can choose, if you see in the lower left corner of each of these, there's the megahertz or the hertz. So some of these frequencies are really hard to listen to. So they won't be very loud. So, but basically, someone can choose the different different hertz, and then it starts out as a fuzzy salt, and then it starts to settle into its pattern. And kids will choose it.
I was
so
just go ahead. You go ahead.
You would have like say either a set of buttons with the with each frequency, or you would have like a dial, so you would be able to alternate the frequency, and then it would change.
It'd probably be a touch screen.
One of the two, yeah.
I would just display this differently. I would take maybe, I would crop this image, and I would get like a monitor or something, like a really big screen or like a background of a wall, and make it look like we're seeing this. I would make this look like we're seeing it on a screen, and then somehow show some of the controls or something where we can tell that it's interactive, and then maybe it's just visualizing, and then do a different one below it with the same control, so we understand, oh, these images are being generated by the controls that someone is playing with. Because just the way that you just Photoshop it, make it look like this is what we're visualizing on the screen. And because this, I'm just like, wait, are these 6 different little displays, or it's just confusing. And I understand why you put it like this, because you're just trying to work out your ideas.
Yeah.
But then can you go to the next example? Like, clearly we can see how they're interacting. The kid is interacting and making this, this. Yeah. When you say pulse, what do you mean by that?
It's a literal pulse.
So that how will the pulse be detected? Like, there's some kind of a sensor.
There'll be a sensor in the screen.
Okay, so you might need
as long as the hand is on the screen, the pulse will be recorded, and then the light will emanate from that pulse.
Okay. Well, I would just articulate that a little bit. Like the pulse will be recorded via sensors on behind the screen or behind the.
Okay.
Just to kind of explain it a little bit more, and then I think your last one is pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
And the illustration's great.
Could totally be an album cover.
Yeah, it totally could. I agree. Okay, I'm just gonna go on down the line here. I'm gonna jump over to Alex. You ready, Al?
Ready as it can be.
All right.
How do I release?
Stop. Click on the green button again. Maybe can Alex share her screen? We'll see if it works.
So some of it's still the same because they haven't changed that part, which I was doing still children's events. Then they didn't get my wireframes done.
Okay. Sorry.
The first wireframe would be like the first set of them would be a user was getting brand new to the app, and then the next one would be if they were creating an event. And then last set was if they were finding an event and then changing the filter. And I haven't had my rendition done. I've been working on a little logo as well.
That's great. Wait, go back to the beginning of your document.
It's still the same from last week.
Yeah.
We talking about this?
Yeah, just can you scroll through it? Like, is it the first page?
Yeah. I have,
There's your competitive analysis.
I
Okay.
haven't finished that
Okay.
yet.
Okay, that's fine. Just go through a page. Can you go to the next page?
Yeah, those are the tabs I've done.
Yeah. So just toggle to the next page.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, it's just slow. Okay, there. Keep going. Yeah, and with each of these, just since she makes sure that for each of these, you title them what the application is, you know, and you might need to explain because sometimes it's not a direct one-to-one comparison. Like, you know, you would say tomorrow, or whatever this app is called. It's not called Tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's called
This last one was like called like Gravy.
Gravy. Yeah, Gravy app helps find events in blah, 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 blah. It give us a little one-sentence explanation of it. And then underneath each of them, you should have the pros and the cons of the application, just to clarify. Okay, and these wireframes, good. We also, in the examples, we need to know what the user scenario is, so we need a one-sentence explanation for each one. I know.
I just finished the wireframe.
I know, no, I'm just saying this because I want to make sure everybody's clear, and you've made great progress, so I can actually comment on it. So then in this case, you know, you would say such and so wants to sign up for the app and create a new account so that they can start getting notifications about related events in their area.
No, where would that be?
I mean, I would actually, like, if this is your H1, you know, if you want to think about it as your main header, your H2 would be user scenario 1, setting up a new account and setting filters for events that you want pushed to you or whatever, or setting up an account. And then a one-sentence explanation there. And then the next H2 down here, I have to speak to you in web language. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, really, you're really kind of in a great position because you have actually, it's just a matter of the colors and the design at this point. And don't be afraid to experiment a little bit with, you know.
Yeah, I haven't really decided which one I like.
I like the
Those are
hand.
Kind
Just
of
the
what I
one.
was thinking with the logos.
Do you know if anybody else has that? Because that's what I'm concerned about. That it's such a good, strong thing that lots and lots of people have.
I think they have like bits and pieces of it.
Because I really like that. Don't spread the words out quite. I mean, give them a little room, even though you want to make them big. Give them a little room and have a bit of a border on the side. But I love that a lot.
Can I do something really quickly? This is what I would do with your logo. I agree with Pamela. I think this is going to be bolder. Remember, an app logo is often shown at a very, very, very small scale. So even with that, I think your little hands would get lost.
Yeah, that's kind of why I don't know, I'm like indecisive of whether I like it or not.
Well, we're going to help you.
Yeah, here's what I would do though.
Well, and there is the possibility of like like I've seen apps that have multiple logos, so to speak. Like they have one for their 100 by 100, and then they have more intricate ones for elsewhere. So
Okay, I'm going to take over your screen real quick because you're in good shape. Here. Yeah. Okay. You guys see my screen? It's click on me. Yeah, there we go. So I did a screenshot of your logo. What I would do to make it stand out a little bit more, be the type legible at a small scale, is to make, and I'm not going to be picking the right typeface at this moment, I'm sure, but this is going to bother me, so I've got to get rid of those white pixels. So. Okay.
glad to know I'm not the only one that was bothering.
Okay, but I would think about doing your type like this. I don't even know what that typeface is, but maybe make it, if you laid it out kind of like this, and then we changed our leading a bit. Oh, it doesn't want to let me do that while I'm trying to transform it.
Of course not, because that would be easy.
Maybe more like 30. That might be too tight. Okay, something like that. Then we get a lot bigger. We can really see it at a small scale.
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I mean?
Zoom out there. That's great. There you go.
So let's look at the, I didn't have the, oh, I shouldn't have deleted. Here's what I'll do. Look at this. This is a great trick in Photoshop. Let's flatten this, copy, paste. And then we can go back to this, and I'm going to go to my history, and I'm going to go to the very first one. So now, we can compare. You see how much more bold that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's better
And
use
go,
this
and it can
space.
go real small, obviously.
Yeah.
Thumbnail size right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I like that font.
I know. What is that? I have no idea what that is. I think it is, it's Museo. Was that what I was using?
It's definitely, like, I could go either way on the font face there, but definitely the Museo would be more for the 100 by 100.
Yeah, this is, that's in new SEO. That's the typeface. Okay, enough about me. Let's move on. All right, Allie, you're next, girl. Alrighty, it looks better.
Can she move a little closer to you, Julia? I'm having trouble hearing her.
Yep, I'll move closer to her. I'm mobile. All right,
Either way.
here we go.
Okay, so basically it's going to be like projected on like a wall. I googled like how big it would be, like for a normal size, and it's at 110 inches, like a wide screen. And then you'll use the Wii controller to move around. The features will be the states will be like animated, and they'll talk to you and be like, "Hey, I'm Missouri. I'm known as the Show Me State." And then we have a well-known destination in St. Louis called the Arch, and then there'll be an option to take a selfie with the Arch, with a picture in the background on the other projector screen behind, which I'll get to for the other screen. Location will be at the Magic House. The other ideas I had were the Transportation Museum, the City Museum, and the History Museum, if there's no room in the Magic House, I guess. But this would be the main page. Basically, it's just a map with all little faces. This is like a closer look into the icons. So this one over here would be what it looked like when it's selected, so you know which one you're on. It would like glow. My kids always like things that light up, so I think they'll really enjoy that. And then this is the back wall with when they take their selfies, it'll scroll along the bottom on the other screen behind them, and it changes out every half hour. 50 minutes. That's all.
You really added a lot.
I did.
What do you guys think? What comments do you have for her?
And the only thing that I have is that using the Wii control scheme that you have, selecting some of the smaller states would probably be incredibly difficult.
Yeah,
Like-
there's ways to compensate for that. Sometimes, like in interactive maps and stuff, they have like the name of the state out to the side, so that gives you more clickable area.
Yeah.
Like for your InDesign file, the this like and leave a little more space.
Okay.
I would like to add that, there's like, you can use as many pages as you want. So feel
Yeah.
free to loosen things up a bit, because all that text is kind of freaking me out.
Yeah, I was going to help you a little bit with your InDesign page, because just if you go back to the first one, it's really tight, and also
Yeah, I tried to fit it all in that box.
yeah, you don't need to do that, and
Okay.
and also it's kind of inconsistent in the spacing, and it's really easy to fix in InDesign once you know how to do it. It's just setting styles.
Okay.
So for example, all of your headings, like you select problem statement, you say, okay, you know what? Since nobody has the next class today, right? So I'm just
That's what
gonna
you
give
said.
you a little demo.
Okay.
How do you like that? Okay.
Love it.
Do you have InDesign open on your computer? Maybe we can fix it just like that.
Mhm.
Okay, since you're still projecting. Okay, and now I'm driving Alex's computer here. So what I would do is you have something in InDesign, and maybe you guys don't know this, maybe you do. Styles, paragraph styles, okay. This is gonna make your life so much easier. I'm gonna take all of
It
this.
has been years since I've used those.
I'm just gonna take this stuff, move it out of the way for now. And then we're going to make that text box much bigger. And then let's style it. We're gonna say, okay, this is gonna be your body copy. And you're gonna have Helvetica, that's fine, 18. It seems a little bit big. Why don't we bring it down to maybe 4, actually 12 is probably a more suitable size. And we'll make the leading just a little bit bigger than what they suggest. Okay. All right, so that is your body copy. Now let's say headers. And we'll select the header. And we'll say it's going to be, what typeface are you using here? It's Arial Black regular. Okay, great. So we'll say Arial Black. It's not necessarily based, no paragraph style. We'll say it is Arial Black regular, and we're going to make it, how about 20 That's fine. And then let's put some spacing after it. So we'll say space after, I don't know, I'll probably change that. And maybe some space before. And I want to make sure that there's more space before than after it because we want our header closer to our paragraph than the stuff behind it. So the space before is going to be bigger, not 1/4 of an inch. That's kind of crazy. I'll just say that. Okay. Oh, then it changed this too. So let me just reselect it and say that's body. Okay. Now I'm going to take your next bit of text here, copy it. We're going to put it all in the same text box. And I'll just do that and I'll say make this the header style and this the body style. That doesn't seem to make sense. Because it's like taking old. Sometimes what you need to do is if you take it and then you say clear all styles, clear overrides. Okay, so we'll make all of this body and we'll make this header. And so do you see how that ensures consistent spacing throughout?
Yeah.
So now we're done with main concept. Let's try it one more time. Now we'll take this information here, copy it, paste. And I didn't even put a paragraph break in there because my spacing will take care of it for me. And I'm going to clear all the overrides so it's going to look like crap. And then I'll select this, make it a header. And, or maybe I did. Maybe I did do a paragraph break. Whoops. So now it's all going to look very consistent, equally spaced, etc. So I would fix that, and it's going to look so much nicer.
Okay.
Then with your information up here, you put this on every page, right?
Yeah, do not need.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to create, go to your pages, and we're going to create, this is a master page. Mm-hmm. So all of these are based on the A master page. You see how A, it just did that by default. So we're going to select these two elements here and cut them, and we'll put them on A master. So then they'll show up on every single. And let's put them more up. They don't need to be so prominent.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say that's fine. Let's make them the same. And they're not aligned either. So just make them team. There's no reason why things shouldn't be aligned. Oh, we'll make this right aligned there. See how nice that looks now? Mm-hmm. We want to make sure that these are, I have this guide here, so I'm going to put the baseline right on the pink and then put this right on the pink. All right, now because that's on A master, it'll be, we can delete it off of each of the pages. It's going to show up. You don't need it. And it's not deletable on each of the pages because it's actually on A master. So then on your pages, you might need to move some content down so it's not. Okay, that's really going to clean it up and make it look like a hack job to like, you know, more like real professional looking. The other thing I was going to say with your project is if you could superimpose that picture like in Photoshop, take this picture and put your map on it. And kind of, you might have to use some free transform tool to get that map to kind of angle. I think that would help communicate a lot more. Everything else, though, this is fine. This is fine. This would look better if maybe, well, this is projected on a wall, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine. We're going to see it kind of again because you're going to have it superimposed on that.
Right.
And I understand your explanation here. They're going to glow. It would be nicer if this glowy thing was around the actual state.
Okay.
But if you can't do it, you can't do it. And then obviously you don't want to change your type size here. And then here, I'm seeing this as, I'm not totally understanding how this connects to what's on the screen. Do you guys have thoughts about this?
It's like the idea of that's what it will look like, but not the goals. Like a scrolling.
I would maybe just like put pictures of like,
just little
like
statements.
Snapchat, how they have already
Yeah.
cities are.
Yeah.
And some random ones those.
I would definitely superimpose city scene pictures like the arch here, you know, and just crop them. And that might be a little bit of kind of tedious Photoshop work, you probably don't want to do it 8 times. So maybe crop this picture so you only have to do it 3 or 4. So that's what I would do. But otherwise, the idea is good. It's just cleaning it up a little bit. And we don't need any more visualizations. You've given us enough here. Maybe a diagram to like kid approaches screen. Tell us how it works. Just make a diagram saying like a flow chart, explaining a little bit more how it works.
Okay.
Taking some of those, and that will probably allow you to eliminate some of the wordiness.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to save that. But okay, let's jump over to, that's fine, and Brian.
Yes. All right. So.
Oh, you
Give
got
me
to
a
run your screen. There we go.
Quick question.
Yes.
I guess I'd asked you if we could do that.
Yes, but
So-
I'll probably be back in my office about 30 minutes or so.
So, yeah, but I've got to present and stay.
No, I'm going to be around till 3.
Oh,
Come on by
okay.
whenever. Yeah,
All right, I'll text you.
and bring me coffee. Just kidding.
I can
No, I'm good. No,
totally
no,
do
no,
that.
no, don't do that. No.
How do you take it?
I'm joking. I'm totally joking.
I
No,
don't
we
think
have.
you are, and that's okay.
No, I'll go to the cafeteria because I didn't get enough coffee because I rode my bike and I usually carry it with me. That's the problem with bike riding. Don't have enough coffee. All right. We're ready for you, Brian.
All right. So I have my app design here. Like I said last week, I am creating a Dungeons and Dragons helper app for numerous different variants, such as 5th edition, Pokemon Tabletop United, Mutants and Masterminds. There have been a bunch that I have here, but with the competitive analysis, I did just a general search on the App Store for Dungeons and Dragons helper apps, and there is upwards of 14 ones for 5th edition alone, which is absolutely insane. Like here we have the custom character builder, we have the normal character builder, and we have the spell book, which are all separate helper apps.
Okay, I think you could probably go through this with your pros and cons.
All right.
So this is one specific app right here, right?
These are 3 different ones.
Okay, so did you see how like Alex presented hers? She did a few different screenshots from each one. And then
All right.
you need to list what they are and then underneath the pros and cons of each.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
More,
these 2 are going to have very similar pros and cons because they were made by the same person.
Okay.
Those 2, and there's a third one that I don't have because it's for the Dungeon Master or Game Master, which I never am at.
Okay. Do you have your flowchart?
I haven't put that in yet because I was like mentally I was doing that while I was doing it, and it was just like trying to get it from brain to InDesign while I was coming up with the screens and stuff wasn't working. But I have it planned out. I just haven't put it into the document yet.
Okay.
Down here I have some of the my 3 base wireframes for 3 different. This one's way too close.
All right, but do you understand that we need to see this in the context of a user scenario? So, yes. And like Alex is a good example because she highlighted and read like what the process was. So you clicked here, and then it took you here, and you clicked here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I have some of that down here.
Okay, but I don't understand what all the colors are for.
This I just was making it look more like an actual like app design.
Right. Okay, so you're starting to get but I think you're jumping over a lot of steps here. Did you look at the example projects?
Yes.
Okay, so then I don't think you're getting it. Hold on a second. right, I'll talk to you later. Hey guys. Okay, I'm going to take over your screen.
Right ahead.
Sorry, Jaleesa. You got stuck. I'm just going to show you really quickly. Okay, so in this example, here they list the app, a little explanation of what the app is. She didn't do pros and cons. That she kind of talked about it in the paragraph, but I'd like to see it as a bulleted list first instead. Then she talks about the flow chart, how it's going to work. Then these wireframes are presented in terms of a particular user scenario. Okay, this is what it would look like if you're sending a new message. This is what it would look like if you're replying to a message. This is what you'd look like if you were doing a post update. And here are the final designs. Okay, so
All right.
when you do your wireframes, they have to be in the context of a user scenario.
All right. I was partially there, but not fully.
Okay, well, and I think you really need to articulate your flow chart before you get too far into your design work.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to jump over to Jaleesa because she's sitting here. Did you have, Jaleesa, you have stuff to present?
I don't have that much. I know where it's like it's matter
Oh, I see.
oh, so this is like a rough sketch that I drew to my ideas out. I want to make the app thinking the app where it's kind of like a it's kind of like based off of location of it, where you're at chef of a restaurant and you're ordering. It's like you're ordering the cooks around to complete tables. So the object is to get all the food from one table out at the same time. And if like one plate starts pulling off or whatever, and they pull it all the way down and start over. And then I explained different areas of the place, like so we have the ticket, and we have different areas. We have meters to tell what like how far along we are cooking or pulling down. We have the color coded so that people can see it. See what's happening. The place station. Also, if there's a mechanic where you can put pressure on the cooks so that they can move faster. And then also, I included like the different things. The competitive analysis I'm not quite finished with. This is just like the overall. I have 3 different games here, and I have the Ghost Kitchen. Over because it's more of how I want it to look, kind of like this is up here is a mobile app, so there's a lot of like tap the screen to maneuver or whatever. And also I included Sims too because it has like you can control multiple people. You have Intm has and like up in the corner. So later on, like in the document, I'm going to go through each of them and tell which of the features from each of the games that I like that are all from kind of, and then also the things I don't like about them, how it's different. Because all of these, you're basically on all the cooking games, you're controlling your own character, and you're with other people who are controlling their own characters.
Mhm.
So in mine, I want you to be the head chef, controlling every cook in the kitchen, kind of.
Got it. Well, it's a fun idea. I mean, I'm glad that you're doing a game. The only thing I'm worried about is being able to make your visualizations, like doing the interface design. If you wanted to look that rich and three-dimensional, in order to recreate that, you're really going to have to, you're going to have to like model it, or I'm not sure how you're going to, I don't know how you're going to make it look like that. That's what the tricky part is.
I can draw it. Yeah, I can draw it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
hopefully.
if you're confident about that, I think it's really cool. But just make sure you articulate. I think it's in your head, and just make sure that you explain how your game is different from these games and what the objective is and that kind of thing. But otherwise, it looks cool. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say on this page there's going to be more explanation, but I haven't.
Cool. Okay. All right. Well, I just recorded everybody's critique, so we're good on that. And if you need me, I'll be around campus until about 3 today.
All right, sounds good.
All right.